Hello, good day. Now, I will discuss two strategies in reading in literacy instruction under the reading comprehension and metacognition. First is question the author, which is a strategy where teachers guide discussions and ask thoughtful questions, promoting deeper comprehension by encouraging students to actively construct meaning, think critically, and connect the text to their knowledge. Next is reciprocal teaching, which utilizes small group discussions and four key strategies, which are predicting, clarifying, summarizing, and questioning to improve students' reading comprehension skills collaboratively. Both questioning the author and reciprocal teaching are typically considered adaptable for students of varying abilities, offering multiple benefits across the spectrum. Question the author and reciprocal teaching grow with students, starting with simple texts and guiding questions for younger learners, then evolving to complex analysis and independent thinking for high schoolers, all to build lasting comprehension skills. In virtual learning, question the author and reciprocal teaching can be developed through interactive tools like online discussion boards, collaborative documents, or video conferencing platforms with chat features to facilitate student questioning and discussion. While both question the author and reciprocal teaching requires moderate preparation, these varies based on task complexity, learner needs, resources, and of course, personal comfort with the technique, with each strategy targeting specific learning goals. So for question the author, it thrives on flexibility, but preparation is the key. So prepared questions or starters plus structured discussions will of course lead to successful engagement. While reciprocal teaching, you have to have your pre-made organizers plus readily resource texts that would lead to less preparation but more engagement. Question the author sparks shared meaning building during the first time the text is read by generating questions, while in reciprocal teaching, it boosts comprehension throughout, might it be in pre-reading, during reading, or post-reading, by activating knowledge, monitoring understanding, and fostering reflection. So question the author fuels individual critical thinking, while reciprocal teaching ignites collaborative exploration. So pick your path, introspection or group dynamics. Anyway, both deepen reading. Question the author kicks off with targeted instruction, picking a text to teach a skill, then forming mixed ability groups for learning. Step number two for question the author, prepare the reading material with pauses for skill practice, understanding checks, and plan probing questions or queries. Step number two, continuation, introduce queries. So these are open-ended questions planned by the teacher, like in a Socratic seminar. So remember, queries spark thought, not just information recall. Example of queries are, what is the author trying to say here? Does the author tell us why? What is the author telling us with this conversation? How does the author make you feel? And step number three, vocabulary preparation. So the teacher chooses keywords, the unfamiliar and the important ones introduced before reading, helping students to unlock meaning. And the final step, start reading. So teacher reads aloud or assigns silent reading until designated pause points. So in stop and think discussion, students and the teacher, where both the participant and facilitator, ask questions and learn from each other. Now, for planning and implementing reciprocal teaching, first step, form groups of four and distribute a note card to each member, assigning them unique roles. Next step, Active reading. So students tackle a text using underlining or sticky notes to prepare for their discussion roles. Third, roles in action. So summarize, question, clarify, and predict. So the summarizer briefly tells the main ideas so far. The questioner asks questions about confusing parts, connections, etc. The clarifier explains the confusing parts and answers questions. And the predictor guesses what the author will say next or what happens next in the story. Here are the examples of discussion stems to be given to the discussants to guide them. So for the predictor, based on the title, I predict this is going to be about, for the clarifier, one word or phrase I do not understand is questioner. Why does blank happen? And for the summarizer, this text is mostly about. So the final step, the teacher guides students during discussions, gradually fading as their skills improve. Okay, now let us proceed to identifying the different roles. So who wants to become the predictor? Any volunteer?
I volunteer.
Okay, thanks, Apple. Now, who wants to volunteer to become the clarifier?
Yeah, I can be the clarifier.
Okay, thank you, Phil. You'll be the clarifier. Now, who wants to become the questioner?
I can be the questioner.
Okay, thank you so much, Teds. Now, and for our summarizer, who wants to volunteer to be the summarizer?
I can be the summarizer.
Okay, thank you, Cherilyn. Now, let us proceed to discussing the first paragraph of the essay, The Other Thing Called Luto ng Diyos. Now, let's have Apple. Do you have any predictions in mind on what we're going to discuss in this particular essay?
Yes, actually. Well, based on the title, I predict that this essay is going to be about food.
Mm,
However, I think that this is not going to be just about food, but about food and something else about it, as per the phrase, the other thing called.
Oh, that's an insightful contribution to this discussion. Now, let's have Philip. Any words you don't understand?
The sentence or the thought that I don't understand is food and sex are linked.
Mm,
So I think it is connected with pleasure when we eat and when people think about sex.
mm,
So I think that we link the food that we eat, the pleasure some people feel when they are having an intimate or sexual intercourse.
mm,
And some people can also see how food and sex are connected. They can see the resemblance to the human being's genitals,
mm.
to the food that we can see around us. One of the
Oh,
examples of this food, or maybe the eggplant, and the oyster as well.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Now, let's have Thedelin. Any questions so far?
Mhm. So for questions, I think my question is, why does this comparison always happens, especially for
Mm,
food, and then sex? Why does it always happens in Filipino societies? I think because Filipinos is somewhat like we are not very uh upfront. That
mm.
might be. So I think that might be, but I want that's just my curiosity.
Oh, that's right. Now, let's have Geraldine. How would you summarize this entire paragraph?
This entire paragraph, I think, begins with a strong sentence that could make readers more curious as to why sex and food is always linked with each other.
Mm.
Uh, the author develops it by the idea of using words that are more normally used or could mean both food and sex.
Mm.
And it ends by providing examples like situations and stories that supports the idea.
Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you so much. Now let us proceed to the analysis, conclusions, recommendation, and significant insights. First, the strategy's strengths. So, Question the Author thrives in independent thinking, which fosters critical analysis of the author's choices and intent. Next is flexibility. So, Question the Author enables dynamic discussions with sometimes spontaneous questions. However, watch out for subjectivity, wherein interpretation varies based on individual student abilities. And skills development might be necessary for Question the Author, which requires explicit instruction for strong comprehension and questioning, possibly challenging for younger learners. Reciprocal teaching, on the other hand, flourishes in collaboration. So, active participation for deeper understanding, learning together, and shared ownership. Also, reciprocal teaching is a clear framework, which is a four-step guide for students, boosting comprehension skills. However, consider reciprocal teaching being time-consuming. Its structured nature demands initial setup and practice, potentially taking more time. And be careful about role dependency. In reciprocal teaching, students may rely on assigned roles, hindering independent strategy use. Now, let's look into Question the Author differences compared to reciprocal teaching. So, its emphasis is asking author specific questions about intent and message. And its structure is flexible and open ended, encouraging diverse perspectives. While for reciprocal teaching, it emphasizes collaborative meaning building through predicting, clarifying, questioning, and summarizing. And of course, its structure has defined roles and steps for a structured approach. Now, for similarities, both methods boost comprehension, which enhances reading skills through various approaches. They also embrace collaboration by leveraging group discussion for shared understanding. Both push higher order thinking and encourage critical analysis and inference beyond basic recall. And both strategies demand engagement that requires active participation and not just passive reading. For conclusion, first, Question the Author and reciprocal teaching are both effective strategies for improving reading comprehension and metacognition in students of all abilities. Next, Question the Author offers flexibility and open endedness, encouraging personalized questions and fostering independent critical thinking. Lastly, reciprocal teaching provides a structured approach with defined rules and steps, promoting collaborative learning and clear comprehension development. And for significant insights, number one, active engagement with the text through questioning and discussion is vital for fostering deep understanding. Number two, collaborative learning environments encouraged by both Question the Author and reciprocal teaching create opportunities for diverse perspectives and shared responsibility for comprehension. And number three, both Question the Author and reciprocal teaching serve as valuable tools for promoting lifelong reading engagement by instilling a habit of critical thinking and active involvement with texts. And for our recommendations, first, Question the Author is suitable for developing independent questioning skills and encouraging deeper analysis of authorial choices, making it beneficial for both struggling and proficient learners. Second, reciprocal teaching is advantageous for scaffolding comprehension, building collaborative learning skills, and developing clear communication habits, addressing the needs of diverse learners. And third, combining Question the Author and reciprocal teaching provides a comprehensive approach that leverages the strengths of both strategies, fostering a well rounded reading comprehension experience. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something today. See you. Bye.